Sits a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this time it definitely will work because, well, I'm just doing it straight through YouTube. So I've posted the Kickstarter link, and unfortunately, I'm not able to post other links that Christopher has sent me because uh, some of them are private links to graphics and things of that nature. I really wish I could actually show you guys some of the images. The best I can do is suggest you go to the Kickstarter page, which I'm actually now on, and we'll have to walk through this together if you're online. If not, then do what you will. I'm just hoping that people are actually going to see this. So while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to shill. Hi, Stormy. Yeah, there's no echo because I stopped using Streamlabs. I literally dumped Streamlabs because I was connecting, disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting, connecting, disconnecting. The longest stream that I saw was like 85 seconds or something. One was 2 seconds long. It's just absolute garbage using Streamlabs. So I am switching to OBS. If Bezic is watching, he'll be very happy to hear that. And if anyone has an OBS version that they think I should look for specifically, by all means, let me know. In the meantime, I am going to grab the link to this through my YouTube. And shill it out. And I do apologize for the bit of dead air. Again, I had planned to do an entire video, an entire stream, rather. Just one moment, I have to slip off camera. Yeah, I imagine you thought I looked good until I started pulling hairs out of my nose. In any case, I'm just getting the... Okay, let's get this tweeted out. I apparently have notifications on my Twitter, which I will look at after. It's been a while, actually, since I went around the horn on one of these, so I should actually start doing that again. Notifications on my Getter as well. Checking Gab. No notifications. And I will give you guys a bit of explanation of some of the changes that you're seeing on my channel as well. Discord, they'll have to wait. Those of you who are friends of mine on Discord, I very much, well, those of you who are friends of mine in general, uh, who follow my stuff, who subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, I want you guys to really know that I really appreciate you. Uh, my subscribe stars, absolutely invaluable to what I'm doing, especially at this point because it looks like I may have to start paying for some sort of good software, which I suspect may be part of the problem with Streamlabs. So many people using the free software that it overloads their servers. Um, as I understand it, the OBS itself is generally a native software, so it exists on your uh, device rather than being cloud-based or web-based or whatever the term is. And just getting all these shilling done. I have quite a few discords to throw these links into, so it can take a certain amount of time. Perhaps I should hire a secretary. And oops, the final one is in my own Discord. For the record, I have a Discord of my own, but I don't invite people because generally I'm trying to maintain it as a very small group. And also because generally, if I do an interview, I want to have people just come onto the Discord, and it's much easier simply to transmit the Discord, or at least it was through Streamlabs. Okay, my notifications on Getter consist of nothing but live stream notifications, and my notifications on Twitter consist of my girlfriend retweeting me. Thanks, honey. So, if you're looking at the Kickstarter page, there are some amazing images there. Just clicking manage here on YouTube. Can I open that in a different button? No. Okay. I'm just going to leave that. I see I have 3 people watching. That's awesome. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah, I'm really, really disappointed about this. I had really wanted to do a really good I don't think the term expose is right, but a really good deep dive into Christopher's art book. Currently, he's at $2,823 Canadian of a $50,000 Canadian goal. He's got 35 days to go and 18 backers. Let's see if we can't pump that number up. If you guys are willing, by all means, grab the Kickstarter link and shill it out to your friends and family. If you know anyone who's into fantasy or horror imagery in particular, send it out to them. Make sure that they understand that this is actually an English book. This is Christopher's first publication in English. And the intent behind it is to raise funds to get his books translated, which is the explanation for that very high goal. It is very expensive to get. Hi, Callum. It's very expensive to get books translated from French to English. I imagine it's expensive to get anything translated from one language to another. And Callum says he's feeling a bit tired. Out late carousing, or actually, it's middle of the afternoon there. You're either working this morning or just feeling a down day. And Callum, you yourself will be familiar with Christopher's art book. You've been on the Sultans when we've shielded there as well. As I say, I'm quite disappointed that the stream did not work out properly. Uh, Monkey says he can build an AI to translate them. In that case, Monkey, I would absolutely suggest you talk to Christopher, because I'm sure between the two of you, you could work something out. And I would be very, very excited to see something like that. And Callum says he's just feeling down. He was up late last night doing some painting, listening to Lord Arch. Oh, crap. Who was on the Archcast last night? Was that Christopher? I think I missed that one, which is really unfortunate because, yeah. I actually meant to watch that one because I don't generally have a lot of interest in Arch's stuff because he's so. Oh, it was Short Fat Otaku. Don't really care then. I would have just shown up to heckle the guy. My fellow Canadian that he is. Yeah, Dev is his name. And Jorj is actually my first name. But yeah, I don't believe Hailstorm. Cute. Yeah, monkey. Where's that timeout button? No, I'll be nice. And Total Blackout is in. Hi, Blackout. It's good to see you. So yeah, we're just talking about Christopher's art book. Ironically, Callum is going to throw a snowball at Monkey, and it's actually snowing here pretty significantly. In fact, more than they had predicted. But yeah, I'm really disappointed with the outcome I've had with Streamlabs. As I recall, they did update in the background, and I was originally using, if I recall correctly, StreamYards or one of the other OBS built-ons. Total Blackout says he just tweeted out the link. Thank you, Blackout. I'm sure Christopher thanks you as well. Christopher is actually traveling at the moment. I had invited him to be in chat. Mostly I invited him to be in chat because while I would have loved to invite him to be on the show, I expected to have problems with the stream. As it was this morning, I was already at the point where I was having to accept the echo. I could not solve it no matter what I tried. I'm not a complete boomer when it comes to a lot of computer stuff, but in this one case, I was at a loss. So I absolutely do appreciate that. As usual, we're going to do the Ask Ardent thing. So if you guys have any questions, doesn't matter how silly, how weird, any topic you want me to cover, those of you who have links, who have the mod, which is pretty much all of you, I might as well throw Blackout a mod. He's here often enough as well. And just for the record, guys, just because I throw you a mod doesn't mean I need you to do anything. Just keep an eye out. If you happen to see a porn bot, just destroy it. The process I follow is to, I'm trying to remember now, and I do apologize if I happen to accidentally remove somebody. So what I will do is remove, then put the user in timeout, and then report them. If it's a porn bot offering girls or anything of that nature, report them for pornography immediately. My streams are never set to made for children anyway, but I have Ranch Legion. Yeah, you're all in the Chrysanthemum Corps now. Congratulations. Speaking of which, I really ought to get a flag for that made. But I will actually explain that as well. I intended to do it on the stream because you could see my colors. But if you look at my badge, and I will put that there. If you look at my badge, you can see the color scheme has changed. And the reason that it's changed is because as much as I love my homeland of Newfoundland, clearly the flag is right there, I felt that it was time to kind of separate and create a separate identity for myself. Better purple than pink. Well, the pink is, pink used to be a very masculine color, and I don't have an issue with attempting to bring it back. And a lot of men actually look really good in pink. I don't because I'm pink. But the purple is for the monarchy and the gold for capitalism because I am leaning towards monarcho-capitalism as a political philosophy, partly because of Spoon. The gray is, of course, because I don't want any other, or more specifically, because as far as my purple and gold are very gorgeous colors. Blackout, you're absolutely right. Especially that royal purple, that deep, rich purple. The gray in the background, which I'm using for the background for all my thumbs now, is to indicate a lack of political loyalty. I don't hold with any one particular political philosophy. Monarcho-capitalism is basically you have a monarch who is dedicated to keeping the economy stable or protected. The monarch would exist partly for the purpose of destroying monopolies or preventing monopolies and usury, especially. Those sorts of things. So ideally, the monarch would. I'm not sure what mercantilism is, but I'll have a look at it. And I suspect mercantilism might be a bit of a dirty word here in Newfoundland, given that we had a merchant class that basically exploited the fishery workers intensely for better part of 2 centuries, I think, if not more. But the idea with the gray, as I said, is that I have no loyalty to any political party. So if the Republicans, and I'm just using these as examples, if the Republicans or liberals were to enact policies that I appreciate, then I would show my appreciation for them and I would support them. But that does not mean I will automatically vote Republican. By the same token, the white in the white lion, and you will note the red teeth and claws because it's nature, red in tooth and nail. Uh, I'm very much a white positive person. I believe that we should do what we can for the white race. As in the 90s, for example, black men were being encouraged to do what they could for their people. I think we should encourage ourselves to do what we can for our people. And that's not any sort of racism. That's race loyalty. It's not um, the terminology that Jason Kuna uses in his book Going Free is white positive versus white negative rather than pro-white. People who are pro-white tend to be the ones who wear things that say white pride, things like that. Now, I will call myself a proud white man all day long and have no issue with that. The problem is that the word pride, especially if you tie it with the word white, has been poisoned by people who are really just angry at other races, and that means nothing to me. Hi, Kingdom. Promethean hails to you as well. And I'm just explaining the new color scheme. Uh, the slightly golden color, the darker yellow, that's actually a chrysanthemum shade. And I just picked that because I like the color. And I thought it would be a good delineator between the gray and the gold purple. Uh, the red in the uh, teeth and claws of the lion indicate my willingness to stand aggressively for my people. Since I'm on YouTube and I have to be somewhat careful about what I say. Let's see. Stormy says, okay, Total Blackout is pointing out that mercantilism was the period the merchant class came out of. Yeah, I don't necessarily hate the merchant class, but I think a degree of ethical interaction is required. One of the things I preach is honor and ethics and fairness. Uh, Stormy points out that the merchants here in Newfoundland did, in fact, use the ever-loving crap out of the fishermen and their families. Sasquatch asked me if I abused my cam to start. No, I did not. Though I did have to give up on OBS or Streamlabs OBS altogether. Uh, Capstasher. Hey, Capstasher, good to see you. I'm doing pretty good, actually, all things considered. Let's see. Kingdom of Vinland. No, sorry. Callum. Talking about Warhammer. My Astartes chapter's colors primarily are gray and black. The gray of ash, black of blood. White being a marking of one's ranks or honors. Oh, that's neat. Like I say, part of the reason I didn't catch the Archcast is because I haven't got a lot of interest in the 40k world. Kingdom says that he thinks it would be cool to have a 40k Astartes chapter that are inspired by the Thunder Warriors. And while he's here, he might as well join the Wrench Legion. Let's see, Stormy. Callum says, Kingdom, that would be interesting to an extent. Violent, blunt force troops. Minotaur's chapter is a pretty close match. I don't know what any of that is. Sasquatch says, Streamlabs OBS sucks. It's unstable and gets bad updates. I think that was actually what the big problem was that I had, that it got a bad update. I tried every single possible permutation of correction with my mic this morning, and it just did not work. So I'm just giving up on it. I'm going to go with one of the basic OBS. Actually, I can ask you, Sasquatch, can you recommend a version to me? If you use just a basic OBS. I know my friend Bezic does as well, and I know he's going to be quite happy that I've given up on Streamlabs. Part of the reason I didn't want to go basic OBS is that I do understand it has a much larger learning curve, and okay, this is the same way that you ended up with OBS Vanilla. Okay. So that'll just be a case of me going OBS Vanilla. Okay. Smug Ozzy. Bezic is okay. Most days. When he's, left to rant about the nonsense and the perverts. and the welfare state in Australia, which is something we actually share a great dislike for. Uh, Total Blackout says once you get it down, it's not hard. There are lots of OBS tutorials. And yeah, that's another thing that really irritated me. I tried to contact Streamlabs support at one point this morning. I have no real idea what I want, Sasquatch, so it'll be more fun for me if I just kind of tinker with it myself. Uh, TBP, total blackout. Okay. Um, yeah, one of the things I was saying is that I tried contacting Streamlabs support. Useless. Their Discord community is sparse, to say the least. Kingdom of Inland says he thinks it would be cool to have a Mechanicus group that has a more cyberpunk aesthetic rather than the metal tentacles of most tech priests. I'm guessing that's Warhammer talk. Uh, Damn Tiaboos in my chat. um, so yeah, I'm intended, of course, to be here to talk about Christopher's art book. So I'm going to throw the link up again. If you haven't seen it, it's really gorgeous. I've flipped through some of the images. Callum Dayton says he keeps getting NHS adverts saying not to use their service except for emergencies because they're being overrun with cases like always. Getting those for the past 5 months now. Yeah, we have the emergency room closures here in rural Newfoundland, and the excuse is, oh, we just don't have enough doctors. Okay. So what are you doing about that? Maybe you should consider doing what Alberta is doing and looking at a 2-tier system, where you have the basic for free system that the federal government pays for, that everybody's supposedly been throwing taxes into for better part of a century and a half, actually more than a century and a half at this point. Or, you could have the good sense to go, maybe it should be for pay so there's competition so we get better doctors. Yeah, yeah. Some things the Americans do are not bad. And one of the big problems is you'll see a lot of surveys where people are asked for their satisfaction level with their healthcare system. And generally, the US healthcare system ends up fairly low down the list, if not towards the bottom. The problem is if you were to actually do an actual empirical survey using just the wait times, the US would be at the top of that list. They would win every single time. Let me see. PC with my OBS setup died. Gonna have to set it back up when I get a new PC. Oh, that sucks, Blackout. Yeah, and at some point this year, I'm going to have to break down and get rid of this laptop. I need something more powerful and that doesn't have a fan on the desk where it interacts with this microphone. Okay, Sasquatch says, sure, you can point me into the right things, find a stream format you like, look and retro engineer it. Sure. Beautiful artwork, worth a look, and of course support. Yes, Stormy is absolutely right. I really wish I could show you guys some of the artwork. I wonder if I can get it up on my phone to make it look any good. Let me just see what this looks like. That's no, too shiny. Okay. Let's see. Beautiful artwork. If anyone was wondering why the orcs in 40K talk like soccer hooligans, it's because they were directly inspired by said hooligans. Daka daka daka. What? I do love the orcs. I know next to nothing about Warhammer, but I do love the orcs. The concept of sentient fungus that basically has some sort of weird mind magic where your power of intention accomplishes things. For example, they paint stripes on things to make things go faster, and it works. I'm absolutely behind that. Base Dave says, not enough doctors. Quick, hire more middle managers and equity managers. Yeah, more HR will solve the problem. Callum says he wants the NHS to serve citizens. Anyone else wants to use it, they can pay for it, not holiday medi-tourists. Yeah, and we did have supposedly a problem with that with Americans coming over the border to use our healthcare. I don't necessarily have an issue with that. My issue is more making people who want to use the system pay into the system. Stormy points out that wait times here are in the range between 2 to 8 hours, and that's in rural Newfoundland, which is disgusting. 8 hours average for Kellam Dayton. I would suspect, Kellam, that you're probably in a much higher population area. Uh, Sasquatch, yeah, more diversity fixes everything, yeah. Capstasher's using the lovely DIE, diversity, inclusion, and equity acronym. More DIE employees will surely fix the healthcare system. Yeah. And yeah, as Stormy points out, that's when they're having a good day. Yeah, the local hospital here, which is right there, um, about 200 feet from me, uh, regularly uh, emergency room there is very busy. Uh, Ask Marvel. Oh, yeah, more diversity fixes everything. Yeah. Yeah, the problem is that it's not actual diversity because they're slowly phasing men out. In case you hadn't noticed, they're now into phase whore, or as other people call it, phase bore, or the MCU. Yeah. Mm. Speaking of, if you guys check my Twitter, I put up a poll just before I went live asking everyone what their favorite Wesley Snipes Blade movie was, because I'm planning to do a Blade marathon. All three Blade movies are on Tubi right now, the Wesley Snipes ones. I'm going to have a good long watch of those, and I will give you guys my thoughts. Uh, Unfortunately, that means that Monday's video is going to be delayed until Tuesday. So I will probably do two videos on Monday. Sorry, on Tuesday. I will do my regular media review, which will be listed as a Monday media review, but it'll actually come out on Tuesday. And I will do Terra Nova Tuesday as well. And I've got a few, I think I've got a few good stories for Terra Nova Tuesday already, actually. Let me just have a quick look here. I did all of those last week. Okay. Uh, I actually don't have anything for Terra Nova Tuesday, but I'm sure I'll find something that'll piss me off in no time. For the next little while, until I actually get I actually can't watch movies with other people if I'm planning to critique them because I generally have to hit the pause button and write down my thoughts as I'm going through the films, and it generally makes people insane if they try to watch them with me. Uh, Let me see. MCU died, ended with Thanos snap. Um, I think for me, the last Marvel movie would be probably Spider-Man: No Way Home. I think that's where I'm willing to cut the line. It's just into Phase 4, but it's very much the last of the Feige Whedon movies, or at least the last in that spirit. Uh, Let me see. The first Blade. Let's see. Callum says he's in a city, but got to travel across to the south side of the city to get the nearest one, which is about 40 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic. Wow, terrible. Sasquatch is offering much help. I will potentially take you up on that offer if I'm having problems. I give you my word. Uh, Stormy says the first Blade movie is her favorite. I like some aspects of all of them. My absolute favorite part of Blade Trinity is Ryan Reynolds basically auditioning for the part of Deadpool. Uh, Actually, I think Blade Trinity was post the X Men Origins Wolverine movie, so he's basically playing Deadpool again. Uh, Kingdom of Inland still on the Warhammer stuff. Caucasian Sasquatch has Passenger 57. Wow, that's that's an interesting choice. You should always bet on black, though. Do I have a list of movie recommendations? Capstasher, if you go back through my catalog or you go into my channel, you'll find a playlist that says Monday Media Reviews, and pretty much everything there I recommend. Um, I'd also recommend you check out Tubi.com or TubiTV.com. I'll put the link for that in the chat as well. That's a free service. But yeah, it's a deep cut. Uh, let's see. Speaking of that movie recommendation, Demolition Man is his favorite Blade movie. I would say Simon Phoenix is probably one of my favorite Wesley Snipes characters because he got to play it so over the top. Sasquatch points out that modern movies do suck, and he is absolutely right. But for the most part, if you haven't seen the trailer for it, I recommend having a look at the trailer for Renfield. It's Nicholas Hoult playing Renfield, and the next four words that I say will absolutely interest you. Nicholas Cage plays Dracula. Um, uh, Stormy points out that I do plan to watch the Blade movies with her. That is true. And she is, in fact, going to have a very long night. uh, let's see. Total Blackout points out Russia and India are putting out some good movies now. Hollywood movies suck ass. The last Russian movie I watched was kind of a superhero one called Guardians. Eh, I would put it kind of in the mid upper tier of B movies, but for where it was produced and what it says, it's actually very good. Let me see. Callum is asking if anyone's seen Avatar 2. I have no intention to watch Avatar 2, uh, mostly because I think James Cameron is a traitor to masculinity and deserves to be ignored. I am Dragon. I'll have a quick look at that. Is that Indian or Russian? Blackout? Or is it actually? I've seen the review that Brandon Herrera did for Kalashnikov, and I am interested. Okay, I've got some Russian romantic fantasy film. He's a Dragon. Romance. Oh, chick flick. He's a Dragon or He is Dragon, also in English territories, titled as I Am Dragon, Germany Dragon, Love is a Scary Tale. 3D romantic fantasy adventure film. Now, when I hear the words romantic fantasy, the first movie that comes to mind, and I guarantee you that Stormy will remember this, Lady Hawk. It's animated? That does sound interesting. Let me see if I can find a trailer for it. 2017. This one. Oh, the entire movie is on YouTube. And Dragonheart is available on YouTube as well, which is another one I would call a romantic fantasy. Marku Milikowski, nice to see you. He says, oh, okay, hang on. It's good, give it a chance. I will consider it. So I'm a Dragon. I'll put it on my saved list for later anyway. It's on the watch later list. Closed. Okay. Let me see here. Blackout says it's good, give it a chance. It was I Am Dragon. Let me see. Callum says he watched it. The romance is insufferable. Vinland says, well, he doesn't have the hardware to play DCS. The stuff coming to the game is exciting. F4E Phantom module. Okay, that's another simulator. Sasquatch says it's very compelling, but also weird. Marku Milikowski says movie world needs more westerns. Personal favorites are the Dollar Trilogy. The Dollar Trilogy would be the ones with Hang 'em High, Fistful of Dollars. Yeah, I mean anything with Clint Eastwood in with a gun is awesome. Dirty Harry, Unforgiven. Yeah, I did grow up watching westerns with my dad. So the Battle of Britain movie is on YouTube for free with ads. Cool. I Am Dragon. Get me out of here. Rucker Hauer was the inspiration for the Vampire Lestat. Really? I didn't know that. Is that Anne Rice's actual words? She said that? That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that because Lestat doesn't come off in the books as being built like Rucker Hauer. Mule. I haven't seen Mule. Fistful of Dollars, Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Okay, that is the ones I was thinking of. Yeah, I do apologize, guys. Some of my Western knowledge is not as good as it should be. Speaking of which, I think I did review a Western a while ago. Can't remember which one it was. Oh, wow, I'm already 15 minutes left. Red Storm Rise. I'm not familiar with anything from Tom Clancy since... Okay, Sasquatch, I can understand that. Anne Rice based on Lady Hawk. I very much understand that very well. because he didn't really appear to be super bulky in that. Uh, but if you actually saw Rucker Hauer in real life, he was a pretty big dude. Um, Kingdom of Inland says a miniseries based on Clancy's Red Storm Rising would be awesome. Uh, Trying to remember Red Storm Rising. I think that was a Chinese one. Like the Chinese were the bad guy. Would never get made right now. Too many movie studios are trying to cater to China too hard. Sorry, I was looking for the mute button, which I don't have. Yeah, and as I was saying, I haven't really had any exposure to anything Clancy other than that game District. What is the game? Oh, The Division. Uh, One of my nephews plays The Division. I've watched a few minutes of him playing. It looks interesting, but I'm really not into shooters. As far as Tom Clancy goes, the last thing I saw was Hunt for Red October, which I also read the book of, which was good. High Plains Drifter. High Plains Drifter is probably one of my favorite movies. Yeah, Sasquatch points out that Hauer was 6'3", 190 pounds, built like a Russian boxer. I would really have loved about the time the He-Man movie was made, the one with Dolph Lundgren, if Dolph Lundgren and Rutger Hauer had been in a movie together and had been something like either brothers or father, son, uncle, nephew. I think those two guys in a movie together would have been awesome. Ghost Recon Wildlands, tried the demo for Division, well short of the mark, played the beta for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, bad. Yeah, and you can't really blame Clancy for bad games. He's just throwing his name to things now. Actually, I don't even know if Clancy's still alive. Let me see. No, he passed away in 2013. So anything that's got his name on it now, it's really not his. Oh, the other thing I wanted to post as well was an Amazon link to Christopher's art books, or Christopher's books, rather, in case any of you guys happen to read French or just want to have a look at some of the art. Let's see. Okay, that's book one. Okay, copy and paste. Oh, that was very close to a bad link that time. Oops. Let's close you. Okay. Yeah, it's just EA smearing his name on it. Well, once they paid for the licensing, why wouldn't they use it? Utopia. I don't remember Utopia. UK series. One thing I have noticed is that with UK series, when they get transferred to the US, one that comes to mind in particular is Being Human, which I really enjoyed. Uh, the UK version seemed to be much more thoughtful, where the US version seemed to be a little more focused on how do we build to an action scene. Let's see. And from Netflix during the Great Coof. Okay. Sasquatch says he hurt Ford while filming Blade Runner by helping Ford up, sprained his wrist. Yeah, I'm getting the impression every now and again that Harrison Ford was a much more fragile individual than I would have thought for somebody who spent time as a carpenter. Uh, oh, okay. Apparently, Rucker just grabbed him and pulled him out, even though his foot was stuck. Yeah, yeah. Oh, cold coffee. Okay, I've got about 10 minutes left. Uh, since we're talking about westerns, if you had to pick one actor right now to put in a western, who's actually active right now, who would it be and what character would you want him to play? Personally, I'd love to see Cillian Murphy play Doc Holliday. Yeah, yes, Rucker Hauer was absolutely a unit. Red Storm Rising is Warsaw Pact versus NATO in a conventional war in the 80s. Oh, okay, that does sound interesting. Yeah, I should have realized when he said red, he was talking about the communists, so it should have been Warsaw Pact, yeah. Kingdom of Inland says he thinks it would be cool to have a Western where the protagonist uses in 1911. My friend, you should watch Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis. If you haven't seen it, that is exactly what it is. It's a Western, and the protagonist uses, I believe, twin 1911s. Ryan Reynolds in My Name is Nobody. That sounds very interesting. Callum Dayton says he has a very warm lap. His cat is curled up and snoozing. Got a blanket over both of you. Love to snooze, but it screws up your sleep cycle. Yeah. The Last Outlaw, underrated, and Steve Buscemi. I do love me some Steve Buscemi. If you haven't seen it, Trees Lounge is actually a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead features Steve Buscemi as a hitman. Yeah, definitely good movie. He doesn't star in it, but he does feature in it fairly prominently. Callum says he can't name a good Western actor at the moment for a Western movie apart from Henry Cavill. Trying to think of what kind of character I'd want Henry Cavill to play. I'd like to see Henry Cavill as a villain, to be honest, to see if he's got the range for it. Seriously, if you haven't seen The Last Outlaw, go right now, turn off the stream and watch it twice. I am definitely going to endeavor to find that then. And I've only got about 9 minutes left, and then I have about an hour and a half of driving to do. So, yeah, I probably won't be watching it right away. The Power of the Dog. Never heard of that one. Kingdom says he thinks it would be cool for French comics to be translated to English. From what I hear, it's got some really good stuff. Razorfist has a video on the subject. Yeah, actually, Razor's video on bande dessinée is part of what caused me to start doing this sort of shilling, like I'm doing for Christopher, because I really want to promote non-woke stuff, especially, but stuff that pushes back against the woke. Things like Eric July's, ISON, his Ripaverse, things like that. Sasquatch. Other things to watch, rewatching Tech's video on the Warhammer, one of my top 4 favorite battle mechs. Okay, so that's Battletech. Again, not really my thing. Cavill was, that's right, Cavill was the bad guy in the Mission Impossible movie. I loved him in that movie. That whole, excuse me, the whole priming the pump with his arms was one of my favorite little gifs that I've seen. The Australian dog film, not the American trash. Red. Aussie dog film. Okay, I'll have a look at that too. Val Kilmer is in it. Power of the Dog. Val Kilmer. Is that from the mid 80s, 90s? About? I think I may have seen that, and I think I didn't like it. To be honest, my favorite part that Val Kilmer's ever played has been Doc Holliday. He was absolutely amazing as an over-the-top guy. Speaking of, I still have not seen Top Gun Maverick, which is an absolute failing on my part. But then again, I haven't seen the Batman either, and that's been out for well over a year. So, a Western romance. Okay. Okay, folks. So I'm pretty much getting ready to wrap this up here now. I've got about 5 minutes to go. If there's anything in particular you guys, okay, Marku Milikowski says the cast of the 2016 Magnificent Seven has plenty of actors he'd love to see in another Western. Yeah, Chris Pratt. Who else? Trying to think now. Devotion. I've never heard of Devotion. I'll have a look at that one too. Yeah, Chris Pratt, I could see being. I think Chris Pratt has a future as an action star. The Sultans Sea I've seen. Top Secret was oh my god, Val Kilmer was in that, wasn't he? Top Secret was a twisted comedy. I remember that from, oh god, Betamax. I watched that thing on Betamax, man. Christ, we're old. Yeah, who else was in that Magnificent Seven? Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke. Yeah, Ethan Hawke is still a really good actor. If you haven't seen it, there's a vampire movie called Daybreakers that Ethan Hawke is in, with Willem Dafoe, who's also one of my favorite characters or one of my favorite actors. Uh, there Will Be Blood. That was the one with Daniel Day-Lewis. Not oddly enough, as much as everybody talks Daniel Day-Lewis up, I don't see it. Uh, Real Genius. Yeah, I saw that one as well. Um, mm, Now that we're on the topic of westerns, I kind of really don't want to get off it. um, Trying to think. And there is no BLM in Rus. Yeah, no doubt. Um, Really, there shouldn't be any BLM allowed anywhere. But hey, what are you going to do if you want to allow a Marxist organization to exist in your country and thereby attempt to overthrow your society? Okay, yeah. Oh, I guess I should do a little bit of shilling. If you guys aren't following me on Rumble, I would really appreciate a sub there. I think I'm up to about 33 or 34, so I'm about a third of the way to that 100 subs, so I can live stream there for free. Uh, Top Secret has an underwater saloon fight. I do not remember that. I'm definitely going to have to watch that again. Devotion is a film about the Korean War. Two naval aviators, Jesse Brown, Thomas Hudner. Quite good based on history. Total blackout. Western media is ideologically captured and corporatized. If they make something good, it's by accident. I'll grant you that. Um, I don't actually have two Rumble accounts, Callum. The way Rumble works, and I fell into the same trap as Yiz. Uh, I had created an account, and then I had created a channel called Ardent Party. And it's actually the channel that you guys need to sub to. I don't know why Rumble is set up like that. Uh, I'm sure there's some Peter Cushing speaking backwards. Oh yeah, I'm definitely rewatching Top Secret. One of my favorite pieces of trivia about Peter Cushing is that while he was filming the Grand Moff Tarkin scenes, he was wearing slippers when you couldn't see his feet. um, let's see. I'll scroll back through chat, see if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Callum says he posted a meme on the Sultans from a friend. Quite interesting. Turns out being a Soviet leaves you with higher chances of living. I don't know how that would work, considering there are no Soviets anymore. But I did notice somebody had posted something about would you rather live in 1970s USSR or 2020 USA? Actually, that may have been on Twitter. And my response was, I'm already living in 1970s USSR. We just call it Canada these days. Bone Tomahawk, I've seen. Oh my God, that was brutal. Marku is trying to recruit my girlfriend to harass me about something. But in any case, folks, we're coming up on the last minute here now. So if there's anything you guys want to suggest I should look at or have an idea for a stream or any random question you'd like to ask me, feel free. But the minute that clock rolls over to 12:30, I am done and I am out of here. Um, Let me think. Some movies I would recommend are generally look at things that aren't necessarily produced recently. Marku said I must have missed his comment. I saw something from Sasquatch about producing a stream. Oh, here we are. Marku says I should host a stream a full stream dedicated to westerns. I'd be down for that. And I'm guessing at that point we're pretty much done. So I will say thank you very much for being here, guys. Uh, and Callum, I'm pretty much the same. I usually watch either really lower budget stuff or old stuff or foreign stuff. Um, there's not a lot of great stuff being made right now. In any case, guys, thank you very much for being here. I am going to let you guys go, and I hope you're having a good Sunday. I intend to have a good Sunday as well. And of course, as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye bye.